Alright guys, so for today's tutorial we are drawing a woman's figure and with some emphasis on the breast. What you'll need for this drawing, okay, so we're using charcoal paper. This is a Canson charcoal paper that I picked up at Michael's. There's lots of Michaels around, and as far as I know, in North America, and you can get this there or any art store pretty much. So for supplies, we're using General's charcoal, so a mixture of hard, medium, and soft charcoals. Okay, so these look like that. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but General's charcoal. Okay, so and I have a brush just for any shading, and a small burnisher shader that comes with most drawing kits, or you can buy them separately. We got an eraser, okay, to pick up any spots, and for highlights, this is the white charcoal, okay, that you'll need, and Chinese white. This is Derwent charcoal as well. So I'd show you guys the this up close, but they're pretty dirty. They've been used a lot. So the General's kit you can get with the charcoal white and everything, you can get for about $50 to $80, I'm pretty sure, and they last a while. It's just the soft ones are a little hard to sharpen, so I keep a sharpener handy when I'm drawing just to keep my ends kind of sharp. And this is a Stedler sort of sweeper, just to keep your page clear. Okay, so and that's it. And got my matcha. You guys know me, I love drinking my matcha. So we are ready. So I have a reference image, and like I was saying, it's a figure art piece, and we're gonna focus on sort of black and white, lots of shading. I sketched in a really light outline here so far. It's very loose, but we'll just refine it as we go. So yeah. So basically I'm gonna kind of just start working, just outlining, starting at the neck here, and I just pick any old place to start, really. If I'm doing something a little more refined and it has a face involved, I find it best to start with the eyes and get the eyes right, because the eyes, I don't know, they just tell the picture, and if those are off a little bit, it really shows. So I think getting the eyes right are key. But in this case, the image we're working on, I'm gonna have the hair come over the eyes, and then you only see the lips on this one, so it not as much of an issue for that. All right, so we're just sketching the chin here, and then I'm just kind of rendering all these lines here. I may or may not jump this into time lapse just to speed up certain sections. So I just kind of want the majority of this drawing to be focused on the woman's bosom, boobs. We can say boobs. So I'm trying to make an effort this year to post a lot more content, and I've done a lot of time lapses online, and I think they're good as far as what they are for something thrown together. but I'm planning on getting into more tutorials, and this is just will be like my first foray into starting to do some of that. So I teach paint nights in town here where I live, and they're fine, but they're a heck of a lot of work, but they are fun. Okay, so yeah, so getting into more online tutorials, I think is what I want to be focusing on going forward. Now, a common mistake that people make initially when drawing breasts is making them too much like big balloons. You know, although some breasts can look that way, I think for the most part they look a little more natural, more real when they're more of a teardrop shape. So they come off the sort of the top of the rib cage under the armpit and come down like a teardrop. And keeping that in mind will sort of help with making a more natural and realistic look. So yeah, here we go. So we got the arm kind of creeping out. This is where breast is coming down. It's all just a game of measuring against your reference photo. Alright, so we're getting down into the waist part here, and just try not to mess it up. Tricky area. Okay. Legs going up. Perfect. Now, this one really has a teardrop shape, so although this one is closer to the viewer, it'll appear a little rounder and larger, but still, as you can see, as it comes into this armpit, she's got her arm raised up here, it's still gonna have that same teardrop sort of shape. Okay. There we go. There are as many different sizes and shapes of boobs as there are people. Okay, so I'm using a medium charcoal right now just to get this sketch in. It's still kind of loose and rough, but it gives something to work from. When you're still fresh with your drawing, you're still sort of placing things and blocking in where shadows are going to go and stuff like that. So I don't go too refined right away because it's hard to be detailed right out of the gate for this kind of thing anyways. There we go. Okay, so just below rib cage peeks out here, and the shadows. Stomach's a fun part to draw, but it can be a little shaky sometimes, so take my time getting it lined up. And with the navel right here. Okay, so I'm wondering, you guys that are out there, what kind of videos you'd like to see going forward as I start to build this channel up more week by week. My goal is going to be to post new sort of art related content twice a week. It's challenging because I still work and busy, with family and everything, and I have a musical project too that I'm involved with, so kind of like a country rock group, and so between that, you know, day-to-day work and stuff and obligations, it keeps me busy, which is great. So, okay, so the eraser, sorry, and just dust off those shavings. So now, by now, there's an overall sort of sense here of the figure, and just tying in the rest. This part's tricky, the curve of the figure here. I want to make sure I get that right. So I use the side of my charcoal just when I'm blocking in, and sort of measuring and rendering and trying to get the spacing right of things. There we go. And it just helps the sketch or the drawing take shape. And sometimes a loose look looks really good. I mean, I love the hyper-realist stuff, but sometimes I don't see the point to it, because you know, you can just take a photograph if you wanted something that realistic. I mean, I appreciate the skill in that, but I think the idea of drawings and gesture drawings and stuff is to have that loose feel. Okay. You want that creative sense rather than more of a rigid drawing. I don't know, that's just me. Okay. So when drawing and rendering nipples, it's, you know, a similar color to someone's lips, and it's not much more harsh than the surrounding skin of the breast, right? So although there is a different color to it, I find it works best when you have a light touch and don't over render it. So I'm just blocking in some shaded areas at first, and I'll just render those in from there. There we go. Okay. Oops. There. Use my phone for reference, and it the screen goes off sometimes. Okay. So these are the abdominal muscles on the figure. Abs, six-pack abs. This girl's got some rocking abs. Okay, and now coming back up here, top of the figure. Get over here, you. Stay. Okay. And the nose is sort of hidden by her hair. And lips. Lips. See, I think I messed up where the neck. This muscle in the neck is. collarbone, comes off the other collarbone, kisses up to the arm that's raised. There we go. And it's almost like cartilage in the neck. Let that come up. I think that looks better. On my Instagram, some followers have been asking me how to get better and things like that, and or advice. And there's really no magic answer. I wish there was. If you believe me, I'd be using it. But it's just, and I say, like, carry a sketchbook around, or when you have a quiet moment, take it out and just draw. It's just to draw as much as you can every single day, if you can. Or if you can't draw every single day, every single couple days, or every single week. Or I play guitar, and it's the same thing. Any of these skills worth having just requires a lot of practice time. So you get out of it what you put into it, that's for sure. I'm making a big point this year to improve on just my overall drawing. I've been doing a lot of painting, which has been great, and a lot of my work is selling. So but I'm trying to keep the same flavors through the work. And yeah, so with this girl here, okay, so you can shade with your brush and just kind of lighten up some of the areas, take some excess off, okay, and or use burnisher, shader, just kind of start shading in that area. Okay, so just keep in mind when working on breast, the teardrop shape coming off the armpit and then down just above the rib cage, and you should be good. And then just some lighting, very light shading around the areola and nipple line of the breast. Alright. I'm gonna throw this into time-lapse mode for a bit and get caught up. See you guys at the end of the video.